All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest X factor for each playoff teams if the season ended today and the playoffs started. I have the current seeding and who I think will win the play-in games to fit into the playoffs. Starting off with the play-in games, we'll start in the Western Conference. The Clippers will play the Warriors. I do believe that the Clippers will beat the Warriors. I just don't think the Warriors are competitive enough, and I feel like they're too old and injury prone, so I do think the Clippers will win. I think the Suns will beat the Blazers to make the 7th seed to play against the Spurs, and then I think the Blazers will lose to the Clippers, and the Clippers will be the 8th seed to play against the Thunder. Starting with the Thunder playing the Clippers, I do believe the biggest X factor for the Thunder is going to be Jalen Williams, if he is healthy and if he is back, because last year is crucial to the Thunder's success, especially with having 40 in the finals. I think J-Dub takes a lot of pressure off Shea offensively, and then defenses have to plan differently instead of just throwing everything at Shea, because he is their offensive engine, so J-Dub will help a lot. And I think the X factor for the Clippers, if they have any chance of beating the Thunder, which they don't, if we're being real, Kawhi Leonard is going to have to average like 40, which I believe he can. Kawhi Leonard's that guy, but he needs a team to help him. So I think the biggest X factor is either going to be Benedict Mathurin, if he can average. He's going to have to average like 25, or Darius Garland if he's healthy. When Darius Garland is playing, he's very good, and I think he can help the Clippers win a lot, but it is the Thunder, so naturally the Thunder will probably beat the Clippers. The next series we're going to talk about is the Rockets versus the Nuggets. This is the 4-5 matchup. I think the biggest X factor here for the Rockets is going to be Jabari Smith Jr., and specifically if he is able to shoot the ball. Kevin Durant cannot carry this Rockets offense, and against the Nuggets, you are going to probably have to outscore them. And I don't believe that Kevin Durant can do it by himself. Alperen Sengun hasn't been the best offensive player this year, so Jabari Smith is going to need to step it up in the playoffs especially. I believe in Jabari Smith Jr. And for the Nuggets, I feel like the obvious choice is kind of Aaron Gordon's injury, but I don't want to focus on injuries for this, so I'm going to actually choose Tim Hardaway Jr., and if he can get hot in the right times for the Nuggets. I don't have any doubts about Jokic or Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon in the playoffs, but I do believe Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to need to step it up, along with a couple other people, Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson. I'm looking at you. For the Lakers, I didn't really know which direction to go. I thought about maybe choosing Marcus Smart, but I don't feel like he'll be that crucial to their success. I think he needs to be like Marcus Smart, and then the team can play around him. Luka, I don't have any doubts about him in the playoffs. So I chose their biggest X factor is actually going to be LeBron and how well he plays. This year is going to be crucial for Bron's legacy and deciding what he's going to do next year with his career. So if LeBron can average a smooth, 24-7-7, the Lakers will be good. The Lakers should move on to the next round. But I don't know. The Timberwolves normally beat them, so we'll see. And for the Wolves, their biggest X factor, I don't really know who to pick. I feel like this whole team is super streaky, and so the entire success of the team is an X factor. But if we had to narrow it down to one player, I would choose Dante DiVincenzo, and specifically his three-point shooting. When Dante DiVincenzo is on, it's very hard to beat the Timberwolves because he can hit 6 to 10 threes a game. But he's also very streaky, and sometimes he's not going to make any, and it's going to be rough. So he needs to be on for the playoffs. And the last Western Conference matchup, I believe it will be the Spurs playing against the Suns. This is the 2-7 matchup. Spurs, obviously, biggest X factor is experience. Are they going to be able to perform well enough in the playoffs? Not ever playing in the playoffs before. I believe in them. So if we chose a player, I would actually say Keldon Johnson, and if he will be able to be the same scorer off the bench, and if he can bring that same offensive punch. Because if not, the Spurs, I believe, will actually be in trouble. Even though Wemby, I believe, can average, like 60 points a game. Maybe that's Glaze. The biggest X factor for the Suns is actually going to be Jalen Green, because last year for the Rockets, he was not good in the playoffs. He scored 2 points in one game. You're going to need more than that from Jalen Green. He's going to have to average 20-plus at least. So we'll see about the Suns. The Spurs are going to wipe the floor with them. And let's go over to the East. In the play-in, we believe that the Hornets are going to beat the 76ers, and then the Heat to be the 8th seed to play against the Pistons. And I do believe that the Hawks are going to beat the Heat to be the 7th seed against the Celtics. Starting with the Pistons versus the Hornets in round 1, this is the 1 versus 8 matchup. Obviously, it's going to depend on if Cade Cunningham's back and how confident I am in this Pistons team. But I'm actually going to go with Dennis Jenkins for the Pistons. Last year, Dennis Schroeder was super important for the Pistons' success in the playoffs. He was a great backup point guard and had some ball handling responsibilities. And outside of Cade Cunningham, the Pistons don't really have a whole lot of that. So if Dennis Jenkins can play point guard and he is good for the Pistons, I think the Pistons will go pretty far. And for the Hornets, I didn't really know who to choose. Con Knippel's still a rookie. They haven't played in the playoffs or anything important, so experience is going to be a problem for them. But I'm actually going to go with Josh Green as the biggest X factor for the Hornets. Plays good defense. He has great energy. He needs to be hitting his shots in the playoffs. The Cleveland Cavaliers will be playing the Raptors. I think the biggest X factor for the Cavs is actually going to be Jarrett Allen. I know he's been kind of light sensitive in the past, but hopefully he can step it up this playoff run, along with a couple other guys like Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. For the Raptors, I think the thing that they're going to need to beat the Cavaliers in the first round is for Emmanuel Quickley to play well. Brandon Ingram cannot carry the offense on his own. I know he is their primary scorer. Scotty Barnes isn't the most prolific offensive player, so I think Emmanuel Quickley really needs to step it up and run the offense well as a good point guard. I also think Jakob Poeltl is going to be very important for this series, but Emmanuel Quickley is number one on the X Factor list. Now, the Knicks playing against the Magic. This is the 3-6 matchup. I think the biggest X factor for the Knicks is going to be Karl Anthony Towns, and if he plays well or if he does not. I think it's pretty clear cut. This year, he has not been nearly as good as he was last year, and he needs to have a big playoff run to stay relevant, I believe. And if it's not Karl Anthony Towns, we're going to pick Jordan Clarkson as the biggest X factor, because when he's hitting his shots, he can really swing a series. And for the Magic, Jalen Suggs' health is always an issue, but we're going to choose Anthony Black as our X factor, because when he's playing well, he's very good. He's an amazing defender, awesome point guard for this Magic team. And for the last matchup in the East, it's going to be the Celtics versus the Hawks. Obviously, we're not so sure about Jason Tatum. He's still amazing. We have no issues there, but it's just, is he going to be the Jason Tatum that we all know and love, and is he going to help propel the Celtics? Or is it going to be Jaylen Brown's team still? We're not sure. Another X factor for the Celtics, I'm going to go with Sam Hauser, because when he's hitting his shots, you cannot guard the Celtics. And for the Atlanta Hawks, their X factor, we're going to choose Jonathan Kuminga, because when he's on, he's super athletic, super fun to watch, a lot of energy. It'll swing the whole series. The Hawks can win. Maybe the Hawks can't win. Jalen Johnson's going to need to play well. This whole Hawks team, I have no idea how to feel about them, especially in the playoffs. Celtics are going to beat them. Hawks are a fun team. The end. All right, everybody, that is all I have to say about the X factors for the playoff teams. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, all the things. Thanks. I'm Enzo Philly, the only guy that works here at Let's Talk Hoop Studios. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you a lot. Peace.